Welcome, guys, to the Xceleration Fitness Podcast number
21 to
Yeah.
1. What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Yeah. My name is Ben Boudreau, my sidekick, John Pep.
Pat?
Today, we have a very, very special guest, a guy that has really started this podcast, and I say it because most people we have on this podcast, we met through this guy, and this guy has given us so many opportunities. Me, John Pap, Matt Van Sumer, Nick Parcelletti, our whole business, but he's given opportunities to people all across the nation with his platform, Stack.com. I'll allow him to do his introduction. We have some cool things he's going to go over on the new transition with Stack.com and what's happening there, and we're going to get to know some cool stories about his journey on how he got to where he is now. So without further ado, guys, please welcome Andy Haley.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate the great introduction. It's been a pleasure working with you guys over the years, and you guys have given me so many awesome articles and videos, and now I'm just fortunate that we've developed this cool relationship, and now I'm on this podcast.
Yeah. So real quick, Andy, tell for the listeners out there who don't know what Stack.com is, give a little insight on what that is and what you do for the company.
Cool. Yeah. Stack.com is all about empowering athletes with the best information out there so they can improve their sports performance. Not every athlete has access to a strength and conditioning coach or any real reliable training information outside of a lot of content that's geared towards just general fitness, bodybuilding, and things like that. So we really just focus on sports performance, and we're just trying to help athletes get better. At Stack, I oversee the training content, nutrition content. I'm the performance director here. So I'm writing a lot of original articles, working with guys like both of you to create content and really bring as many top experts into the Stack network as possible. In addition to that, going on video shoots, working with strength coaches on the road, a lot of top athletes, and just trying to get our content in front of as many eyes as possible.
Yeah. So
I just want to make a note on that. So I'm the youngest here, and back in the day in high school, I went to a very, very small school. We didn't have a strength coach. There was no gyms in town. Like literally there was not a gym in the town that I grew up in. So there was no sports performance places. And I remember we had the Stack magazines in our gym, and I would read them every month when they came out, or however often they came out. And I would pick them up because literally that was my only source of that kind of information. Because like you just said, like there was the bodybuilding.com, programs and stuff like that. But as a high school kid, I didn't know the difference. But having that specifically for athletes was huge. So you guys are doing awesome things. I mean, you guys have been for a long time, and now your reach is even bigger. So if you don't know Stack.com, guys that are watching this, go there right now to check it out.
absolutely. I got a guilty confession about Stack.com. When Matt Van Sumer and I first started Xceleration Fitness, it was Xceleration. We'd be like, yo, what do you want to do with Luke today? I don't know, man. And we go on Stack.com and we found like a Justin Verlander workout and like used it. And he's like, man, this is awesome. I'm like, wow, I'm definitely going back to Stack.com. So yeah, I mean, you guys
That's
are
awesome.
great coaches and athletes.
I love hearing stories like that. What's really cool now is we're starting to work with athletes who had the opportunity to read Stack in high school, like John did. For a while when Stack was first, started, no one really knew what it was, but we're getting those people that had the magazine in their hands in high school. So when we go and work with this athlete who's, this top tier guy that's about to go play pro, and we're say, oh, we're from Stack. And he's like, oh, I know Stack. I used to read it in high school. I'm like, that's pretty cool. Where the magazine's not going out anymore just because of the industry and how digital is everything now. But, it's just it's cool to know that we get in front of so many athletes' eyes and are able to help them through their process.
Yeah, absolutely. So you said that's crazy. I mean, you said it's a digital world. What have you seen really evolve in the last 5 years with Stack?
So when I started at Stack, the magazine really was the main focus. Our website was pretty fragmented. It pretty new at that point. I've been in Stack for over 7 years now. And then over the years, it's just transitioned more and more to that digital focus, and even more so to video. Video is so important now. People want to see what others are doing, and a lot of times people don't have the attention span to read a 1,500 word, 2,000 word article. So video is just where it is now. And you guys in particular have done such an awesome job submitting killer videos with your content. I know every time I see your content come through, I know I'm getting an awesome video to feature with it. So it just really makes it a lot more engaging, and people are more likely to share it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
How long has Stack been around? When was Stack started?
It's 2005.
2005. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Andy?
I'm 31.
31.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you're from Cleveland?
I'm from Boston, born and raised in Boston, and lived there for 21 years, and then ended up in Cleveland, went to Miami, Ohio, and now I live a few miles from the city, and it's awesome here. We love it.
If I remember correctly, was that your first job coming out of college?
Yeah. So I was really, really lucky. I went to Miami University and studied exercise science, and was actually planning on going to chiropractic school. Was all set up, ready to move in a few months down to Florida, and then I just sent out a resume to Stack just to see what would happen. It sounded like a really, really cool job, and I got an interview and I got the job. I was surprised, and it was daunting at first because I didn't have a ton of media experience. I was exercise science guy. I was in the labs writing research papers and doing that kind of thing. Fortunately, I had some good writing skills to start with, and learned a lot pretty quickly here, and learned how to do media and everything. And it's been a great experience and a great ride.
That's awesome. So we were kind of wondering, like, what's been the experience like? Because I mean, you guys go all over the country working, to seek out the top athletes and coaches. Kind of talk about that. What's that experience been like, and maybe some cool stories or funny stories or anything like that.
Cool. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the job is going. We fly to LA, Phoenix, all over the place. We came up and visited you guys, and we get to see these awesome training facilities who are training incredible athletes. And it's really, really cool to see, first of all, just the different facilities. You go to Phoenix and you go to Exos and you see the sprawling facility that, you go in there and they have everything that an athlete needs. When breakfast is prepared before they even walk in the door. When they finish a workout, they have a shake with a label on it waiting for them.
How many athletes are there?
How many athletes are there? Depends on the time of the day and what's going on. They usually have groups of about 15 or so, 20 people maybe. I'm not exactly sure. I've been there during Combine, and then it was before OTAs, there was a bunch of pro NFL guys there. So they're just training in groups. But, in addition to that, I've been out to Todd Durkin's place, which was awesome. He runs such a high energy environment. His energy is just contagious. You just want to go there and just bust ass. It's awesome. Been out in Boston at Mike Boyle's place, Eric Cressy's place, and they run just amazing facilities. You see guys there that are top tier athletes, or from top tier athletes to high school athletes, and they're just getting after it. And I actually used to train at Mike's place when I was in 7th grade.
Mike Boyle's?
Yeah, I lived.
You're a big hockey guy, right?
Yeah, big hockey guy.
Yeah.
And then out west in LA, there are so many training facilities, and that's where a lot of the combine stuff is. There's Proactive, which is, they have an Orange County location and then one north of LA, and they run a really cool facility. And one of the best experiences I had on the road, they took their guys to some sand dunes right on the beach, and it was just massive dune. and they absolutely crushed these guys. But it was so cool because it was just this beautiful setting. And then a bunch of the guys just hiked up to the top of the dunes afterwards, even though they were just gassed. And we're just sitting looking at the view, and it was just a really, really cool experience.
Who were those guys? What sport were they from?
Football. So it was trying to think of the main guys. Stuart Cravens, Kenny Clark. I think those are the main two guys that people would probably know.
That's awesome. You mentioned 3 guys who I look up to, and I know every single strength coach looks up to, you know, Todd Durkin, Eric Cressy, Mike Boyle. Did you get to meet those guys personally?
Yeah. So I've met Eric multiple times. He's a great guy. I work closely with some of the guys that are under or at Cressy Sports Performance, like Tony Bonvecchio, and then formerly at Cressy Sports Performance, Tony Gentilcore, awesome guy. And
Wait,
then
Tony Gentilcore's not there anymore?
No, he has his own place now. It's called Core, and I think just outside Boston.
Gotcha. Good for him.
And then yeah, Durkin, met him a bunch of times. Again, great guy. We did a video shoot with him. I think we knocked out like 45 videos in a day. The guy is just a machine. He's incredible.
What would you notice about all 3 of those guys? Is there a common trait amongst those guys?
Ooh. You know, I think they have different coaching styles. Is that my computer doing that?
I think so. I don't know if it's
It must be. I don't know.
My notification's off. Huh. All right. Sorry, guys. So they have different coaching styles, 100%. But one thing that I think that's in common is they understand their athletes, and they know their stuff in and out. Particularly, I'm trying to think who else to lump in that group. I don't know. Well, they're just sharp guys, and they know how to get the most out of their athletes, and they create buy-in. And I've spent more time with Boyle and Durkin, and they definitely have different coaching styles. But man, they get the most out of their athletes.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So talk about what it was like to grow up in Boston, because you played hockey, right? Did you play in the college level?
I played club hockey at Miami for a little bit, but yeah, growing up in Boston was cool. There was a lot of opportunity to play hockey. It's everything out there. Played with some great athletes over the years, and ended up playing club at Miami. Fortunately, career was cut short a little bit, tore my PCL my sophomore year, and still playing to this day. And luckily, my knee feels great. I think a lot I can attribute that to the knowledge that I've gained over the years working at Stack. I've been able to really train my lower body to make sure that I don't have pain and hopefully don't end up with arthritis when I'm 50 years old.
Just thinking about your job, man, you have such a unique position because you went exercise science.
Yeah.
And now you're exposed to the best of the best in exercise science. You're exposed to the best athletes. You get to, all day long, work with trainers, work with athletes, and I see you doing the lifting videos. So, it's got to be such a cool job, it sounds like, so many experiences and so many, like, you got a bum knee. Okay, well, I'll just email Eric Cressy. What should I do for my knee? Or, Mike Boyle. You have so much opportunities to talk to these people. It's awesome.
Yeah. That's one of the coolest things about the job is that I am essentially researching strength and conditioning all day. Whether that's just editing an article, I'm learning so much just editing an article, or talking to people. Like, if I have a shoulder injury, I hurt my shoulder bench pressing a couple months ago, I just text John Russell, and he gives me what I need to fix it, and now I'm feeling much better, and I have access to some of the top guys in the country. So it's been a lot of their information is coming through me, and then it's being published on our site. So that's really, really cool. And another great thing is at Stack, we obviously, being a training-based company, we emphasize training. So I'm sitting in our studio right now. You can see our squat rack behind me. If I'm sitting at my desk for a while, feeling a little tight, I can go roll out in the studio, do some back work, loosen up my chest and stuff. And, it helps counteract sitting at a desk for 8 hours a day.
Yeah, that's the best, man. That's one of the best parts of owning the gym is you can go foam roll real quick or get a
yeah, it's nice. I mean, like if I played hockey, have anterior pelvic tilt, I probably will always have it to a certain degree, but I know sitting doesn't help that. So I can go do a couple stretches, foam roll my quads or whatever, but a couple times a day, and it really makes a big difference.
Yeah, definitely.
That's sweet. So what are your, you've seen like the top athletes, like you said, like top coaches, like interact with them all, like been to all these facilities. What are some of the top like tips that you have for athletes or even just the general fitness, enthusiasts who just wants to get in shape?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think number one is consistency. Number one, you can do virtually any program, and as long as you're consistent with it, you're going to make improvements. Number two is actually try to find a program. Find something that you like and stick with it. It doesn't have to be this crazy involved, cool looking program that has these exercises that are going to impress people at the gym. Stick to the basics, find your program, and just work your ass off. And then, kind of along the lines of that is I see way too many people and hear about way too many people just trying to do a bunch of stuff to look cool in the gym, whether that's either lifting too heavy and breaking form or standing on a BOSU ball with holding a med ball, having someone tug at their waist with a resistance band, something like that. And it's just like, you know what? Do your squats, do your deadlifts, do your benches and your push-ups and your pull-ups and rows and all that stuff, and you're going to get better. You don't need to do anything super crazy.
I love it. Simplicity.
Yes. I when I first got my job at Stack, I remember just loving like these really cool exercises, and I look at some of the early programs that I wrote, and they were just like 20 exercises on there. It would probably take someone an hour and a half and absolutely crush them.
We've all been there.
Oh my God! Now I look at my programs. It's like 8 exercises maybe.
Yeah.
And it's all just the basic stuff. And I need to go back and rewrite some of those old programs. I think they're still out there. Probably a little embarrassing.
On the website?
Somewhere, probably.
Somewhere buried deep.
Speaking of that, like, if you could share this, have you had anybody like reach out to you and write you just like some ridiculous articles and like, dude, I cannot put this up? Like, have you had any stories like that? Because I know you work with so many people.
Yes. It has happened. It's not all the times. For the most part, people do write legit stuff. It's not. The toughest thing is that I have to separate my own training philosophy that I've developed over the years from someone else's, because there's not one way to train. Right. And because I like something and someone else recommends something different doesn't mean that it's wrong. So I have to separate myself from that and just make sure that it's accurate and isn't going to hurt someone. So it has happened where I've had a decline in an article because it's just totally wrong. Or, if we have 7 articles on the site about why you shouldn't do an exercise, and then someone writes a whole entire article about why this is such a great move for athletes, I probably have to decline that. Yeah. And that's something a little bit that we used to not do such a good job of, and we're trying to have a more consistent voice, and probably in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, speaking of changing up a little bit, you got some exciting news about Stack.com, right?
Yeah. So we were recently acquired by a company called Blue Star Sports. I never heard of them before. They acquired us, but it started as a sports, youth sports like payment and scheduling platform, and they had some explosive growth. Jerry Jones got involved with them, and then they had some investment from the NFL. And they acquired us to be their content arm. So they're basically trying to own the youth sports space, from camps to content and education with us to recruiting services and the software and scheduling platforms and everything. So now there's still a lot of transition going on, but it should be really, really cool for us because we now have access to this massive built-in audience of about 45 million people, whether that's athletes or parents or
45 million.
What'd you say?
45 million.
Yeah, and we have a big audience already, but that's going to allow us to really get back to our roots a little bit and really focus on sports performance training, because we were doing a little bit more fitness stuff for a while, and that's great, and we're going to continue to do that. But we're going to try to shift back more towards the sports performance content.
So are you guys still keeping the name Stack, or will it be Blue Star?
Yeah, we're going to be Stack.
Awesome, man. Cool. Well, Andy, so at the end of the podcast, we have a little fun. It's called a rapid fire session.
Okay.
You know who Andy Haley is here. Are you cool with us?
Yeah, what do you got?
All right, man. I'm going to ask you some questions. Just answer right off the top of the dome. Whatever you got is what you got.
Okay.
All right, man. So if you could have an endless supply of any food, what would you get?
Steamed clams.
Holy shit.
That's the first time we've got that.
Steamed?
Yep. I'm from New England, man. Steamed clams.
It makes sense.
Is that a Boston thing?
Yeah, steamed clams.
I've ever had a steamed clam.
My ultimate meal, first of all, unless you're from New England, you don't know what a real steamed clam should taste like.
Okay.
And my ultimate meal would be like clam chowder, steamed clams, and lobster. Like that's
I'm sure I can do. What does steamed clam even taste like? What's it?
You've never been to a clam bake?
No.
Nope.
Okay. They have clam bakes in Ohio, and they're super popular. But it's not New England clams.
The clam bake was something different in my high school.
Yeah.
They what do they taste like? I don't know. They're a little sweet, I guess.
Sweet.
It's really hard to describe.
Well, I'm definitely going to try steamed clams, but I got to find somewhere in Michigan that's legit.
You won't find them unless you go to New England.
I go to Boston.
You go to Boston or Maine.
All right, let's all go out there then. All right, if you were an animal, what would you be and why?
Probably a bear, because they're super strong, but at the same time know how to relax and also eat fish.
Yes. All right. They probably
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, this is a deep one here. What is one goal you'd like to accomplish during your lifetime?
Ooh. I think, probably the easiest goal would be to have a happy and healthy family. But I feel like that's a little cliche. So I want to travel to every continent except Antarctica.
You recently
got so far.
I follow you on Instagram and I see you're traveling everywhere, man. You were in Asheville, but before that were you in Europe?
Yeah, we went to Italy. That was awesome.
Is that just you and your wife?
Yep, that was great.
So is that the baby moon?
Kinda, yeah. Yep.
Okay. When you were little, who was your favorite superhero and why?
That's a tough question because I wasn't super into superheroes, but I would have to say Batman because, first of all, I feel like he's like the most realistic superhero. Like he's just a badass who has some sweet technology.
It's a rich guy that can buy a bunch of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So it actually exists out there is what you're saying.
He could, like, theoretically, I guess he could be. It could be like a Navy SEAL with some sweet technology in a bat suit. But I would have to say Batman.
All right. Well, segueing into this, who is your hero? This could be parent, a celebrity, some influential person in your life, but who is your hero?
Ooh, man.
Yeah, it's deep, dude.
That's tough. I haven't given this much thought.
All right, let's come back to it because
let's come back to that one.
John's got a cool one for your phone.
Yeah, okay. So are you on your phone or your computer right now?
Computer.
All right. So pull out your phone, go to text or whatever, and go to your emoji screen and give us your top 5 emojis.
All right, hold on.
Andy, just so you know, we completely stole this from Kevin Warren and Justin Ochoa.
Yeah.
All right, I have – this is weird because there's a birthday cake on here, and I have never used that emoji.
Hey, man, the phone don't lie. We're all friends.
All right, I have this a smiley face with the teeth showing. I have thumbs up. I have fire. I have poop, and I have beer.
Hey, that is a man right there. That's a happy man.
Go.
Passion, fire, and poop. That's awesome.
Yep, I'm sure. Yeah, fire and poop are probably combined in one single text.
All right, one more question, then we're coming back to the hero. Actually, 2 more questions. All right. If you could pick a 90s, you're 31, so this is perfect. If you could pick a 90s music group to be in, what group would it be? Or it could be
this is easy. I would 100% pick Nirvana.
Nirvana, nice.
Okay.
When I did dabble with the guitar in like 3rd and 4th grade, Come As You Are was like the only thing I could play.
That's awesome, man. Okay, next question. You could give a book. Sorry, you have one book to give somebody. What book is it?
I would say Unbroken.
I love that book.
Have you read it?
Yeah, not read it, but that's the one the movie's based off, right?
Yes, the movie did not do it justice.
No,
I would choose Unbroken because it's a story of a man that was just put in the worst situations possible over and over and over again. And not only that, this was a guy who had a lot of promise in life. You know, he was running like 4-minute miles. He had a lot going for him. And somehow, some way, he managed to get out of those situations and live until recently. He passed away. And I just think it was an incredibly inspiring story that everyone should read and just appreciate that someone was able to achieve what he did, and you know he did it for all of us in a trying time.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Angelina Jolie, she's good looking and all, but she did a terrible job with that movie because it's like.
Yeah, I did not like it. I wish Christopher Nolan did it.
Yeah, I mean, anyways. Okay, so back to the question. This will be the last one. We'll wrap it up, and we'll make sure to add where we can reach you at and how we can follow Stack.com more. But who is your hero and why?
Man, this is a tough one. I would have to say I'm going to have to say my mom, because she was a badass mom, first of all. She did a great job raising me and my brother. And she had some challenges throughout her life, and she's figuring them out now, and I think she's in a really good place. And I think she just kind of shows that not everything's going to go perfect, and you have to readjust your life and figure it out. So I would have to say my mom.
That's awesome, man. That is sweet. Well, To wrap things up, Andy, I definitely want to thank you. Xceleration Fitness wants to thank you, but also, I don't know if you know this, but, me and John have been talking with Kevin Warren, Justin Ochoa, different guys in the industry. We're developing relationships with them, like they're our boys now. And that's all because of you connecting us. So from Xceleration Fitness, from all of us, man, thank you for everything you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And thank you for what you guys do. You've helped me and Stack tremendously. And we wouldn't be here if you guys didn't really take that opportunity that we present and crush it. Not everyone does what you guys do. So I look forward to every time I see one of your articles in the draft queue because I know it's good and I know you guys put passion into it.
Man, thank you. And another thing before we go too, for listeners out there, make sure you congratulate Andy Haley because he's going to become a father on March 6th of this year.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, Andy, where can we find you at?
Stack.com. If you want to find my articles, you can just search Stack.com, Andy in Google, and I'll come up. And that's
right,
it.
There we go.
Have a great day.
Thanks, Andy.
Friday.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right, see you, man.
Yeah.